it does. What is poppin', everybody? My name is Holiday C.
Oh, and I am seasonal Nosh Dog. I don't know.
That's good.
Oh, okay. I am Dahn, aka the Slaughter Gang CEO.
There we go.
Oof.
Not even in the
There we
same
go.
theme, but much cooler. And welcome
There
Much
we go.
to episode 105 of Bad Habits of Podcast with all three mans back in the building. I need to do the fucking clap for that one. I need to
Give
do
us
the
a clap,
for
mate.
that.
We
There it is. We have Daniel back. What a just. It's been a while since the people have had a fat dose of Daniel.
I know, right? I'm basically a guest at this point.
At this point, but not for much, not for any more. Dan is claiming his
Exactly.
throne.
I am back. I have returned. And
I'm
things
With a
are
fresh
about to-
haircut.
Exactly. New trim.
Show the
this.
people
My hair's
them.
so much
There
longer.
you go. There it is.
It's going a bit crazy. I can't have it down anymore. Like the hair
Scallywag.
down thing anymore. That's like rare now.
Yeah.
My whole hair is always tied up now. You can't. I don't know. It's gone everywhere. You know.
I like it.
I hear that.
It works.
It works. I'm happy with it. I'm happy.
It's great, man. Let's first of all, everyone's good. Everyone's blessed.
Bless.
I'm very good, thank you. Very, very good.
Love to hear it. Let's kick off with because we've had a few we took the summer off. We told motherfuckers. We came back, me and Nosh, for a couple episodes. I think it was literally 2, maybe even 3. Then we both got sick. Nosh got extra sick, so we talked about that. And now we're back on our consistency shit. You know the vibe. So, mans haven't seen you since it was either end of June or start of July, if I'm not mistaken.
That's long.
It's been a hot minute, man. Do you want to give the people as much or as little update as you feel?
So I'm trying to think. So August, I'm not even sure what happened. I think that was our actual scheduled break. And then
It was
I
actually
think we can write
July.
off August.
It was July.
Oh,
and
it
we were
was
supposed to
July.
be back in mid-August, but
Mid-August. Okay. Then I'm not too sure what happened in the last 2 weeks of August. But then 1st September, my friends came to visit me from the UK that was the second time a friend had actually come to visit me. So it was 3 people as well. So I was busy. I went to New York. I went to Toronto. We all just hung in Montreal for a bit as well. And then after they went, literally, I think 2 weeks later, my parents actually came. And then my parents came. We surprised loads of family in Toronto. We had all these plans, done a bunch of shit in Montreal, done a bunch of shit in Toronto. It was just super busy. And
Thanksgiving
then
too.
Thanksgiving happened, which meant I was in Hamilton. We were just doing so much shit. And then what happened after Thanksgiving? Oh, and then I came back here, and probably 2 weeks later, I moved in with my girlfriend.
Hey,
And then after that,
man's
we're basically here now, isn't it, man? We're just here now.
I mean,
And now, and Drake dropped an album, and now we're here. Now
Look at
that's that. You know
that's
what I'm
it.
saying?
That's all that matters. That's
That's what that matters. Everything else I said was bullshit. The only thing that really matters is the Drake album.
No one.
Yeah, it's like a happy early Christmas for you, mate.
Right?
When
Exactly,
Drizzy drops
it really
anything,
is.
you're always you're like a fucking excited little kid ready to fucking just piss his pants.
Just creaming over it.
Just
Loving it.
Well, man juice everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it.
Man juice.
That's lit. So Dan's back. Are you done with the old place? I know we're on air and shit, but
Yeah.
it's gone.
Fully done.
The building's out.
Lease transfer. We're all out of that building. We all made it out eventually. We've done it.
That's wild. Are you staying? Are you in the Facebook group?
I was in the Facebook group and I see all the fucking things that happen. So I'm just like, it's funny.
It's wild. So
you can give us the tea.
So there's a Facebook group for the building that was made, I don't know, not too long before Dan moved in 2020. And it was just a good way to communicate between people. Hey, does anyone have this? Or, why is the water not working? Or what's going on with all that, right? It was a nice sharing thing. And it became
the water thing happens a lot. I see it a lot in the group. It's crazy. I've moved here and I've never had an issue with water, ever. But then over there, I'm seeing every week or so, why have they turned off the heating? Why have they turned off the water? Blah, blah. I'm like, well, fucking hell, man. That's just
such a mess, man.
You guys are living in a fucking mess.
I'm glad you got out. It was a cool building. We lived there for 9 years, Tiffany. So I didn't have that much of a. I knew it wasn't perfect, but it did the fucking trick. So it was like they have like people complaining about hot water, the heater, because it's like a controlled heater. You can control it from your apartment, but it has to be turned on by the building. So they were complaining about that. They always have just random alarms going off. They have an ant problem. So like, it's not cockroaches.
The ant problem is still rampant. Like when I was moving out and selling all my shit, I still had to go back and forth from here. It's only like 10-minute walk, but I still had to go back and forth from here to sell a bunch of furniture from that crib. And then it was like, I remember some random lady spoke to me. She was like, "Oh, moving out, no more ants." I was like, "Wow!" Like it's just everyone has this ant issue. I'm like, "Fucking hell." It's just a bit
Fucking
mad.
hell.
It was like to the point where it made you feel like it was you. I felt like I lived outside. Like everywhere in the kitchen, we had to have everything in seal. What do you call it? Ziploc bags.
Ziploc bags, yeah.
They also had an infestation of weevils, which I didn't really know what they were. They kind of about the same size as a weevil. Is like it looks like a cockroach, but the same size as an ant. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like
a
little.
I've seen them before, actually.
They typically find them in like. Yeah, Mum used to always talk about them in flour. Like you get weevils in flour, like the bags.
You get weevils in flour. That's why you have to always sieve flour when you use it.
Yeah, keep them, and it's gross because then I don't want to have the stuff.
If I see one ever, I don't care if I sieve. I'm not going to use it.
It's gone. It was dashed that. So we cleaned our entire cupboards out, took everything out, like wiped everything over with vinegar and water, like proper vinegar and water, then with the Lysol spray and shit, and then put everything in sealed bags and in like little tubs, like say all the spices, because you know how spices, you put it back, some of it falls out a little bit, so all of a sudden you got all these spices everywhere. I think they were attracting it. Anyway, it was fucking gross. Just everything, nothing ever worked there. It was like a whole ordeal. Like it was good for a while, and I don't know why it went downhill. So I'm very happy that you're out of there, because every time I see people post, I just like, ugh, like it's so
cringe thing.
Such a cringe, man.
Yeah.
Like, so I'm happy that you're in a much better place. You're only up the road because the neighborhood's lit, and then obviously you'll be out here soon enough. So, it's Ontario band. You know the vibes.
Give me until May, hopefully latest May, June latest. I'll be there hopefully.
Got to get the fall.
June latest, 100%. So just soon, me, you, Drake, Brad.
We'll be out here. You know what I'm saying? 21 Park Circle. You know the vibes. Okay.
Vibes.
So that is blessed. So where do we want to start? We've only got a few things to talk about this episode because the things we're talking about are much larger. So I'll let you guys choose. Do we want to, of the topics, because there's a couple of personal stuff like my music, Notion's production we're going to talk about, but that can kind of wait to the end. We have two sad things, and we have the Drake album review. Where would everyone like to start?
I personally want to address Takeoff, because that thing to me, that is it's mad. It's actually so sad because that's like one of the biggest, especially in modern rap, like one of the biggest artists to have like passed. Like definitely probably the biggest of what I've grown up listening to. It's like insane. I don't know. And the way he passed and everything is it's actually mad sad. Like I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, fuck, these guys they're not old. They're like, Takeoff was 28. And like when I think about it, it's like, fuck, this guy was like, Migos will never make a song again, and that's what makes me actually sad, because like maybe I don't listen to their music all the time, but I did listen to a lot of their songs, and it's like these guys are actually massive artists, and to think that that's not gonna happen again, that's what makes me sad. But like, yeah, it's terrible, crazy shit.
I agree everything for some reason, and I know that you always listen to them. I can definitely co-sign that because you mentioned it a lot. You always like big them up. Notion it's not really our jam, but I did really enjoy the Quavo and Takeoff album. I listened to their interview on Drink Champs, and I really liked what they had to say, to the point where I played that album again. I would never go back and voluntarily listen to that type of shit, but Takeoff's bars were fire. I remember listening back, okay, like significantly better than Quavo, and he was easily the best in the group, and people were saying that now, and apparently Quavo had said that in interviews. And when I saw that, it actually happened the Monday this podcast dropped last week. So we recorded on the Sunday, we drop on the Monday, and it happened Monday. I was like, fuck, would have been great to sort of talk about it when it's fresh. But I don't know about y'all, like I felt this bothered me. This one bothered me a lot, and I was like, why is it bothering me that it happened to this guy? And I'm not particularly a huge fan of what they do. I in the last few weeks, I came to really respect. I listened to the project the first time. I was like, oh, okay, that was better than I thought. Then I was like, you know what? Because I liked it so much. Well, not so much, because I liked it more than I thought I would. I listened to the Drink Champs interview, and I really just liked they were very respectful to their elders. They were very thoughtful in their approach to music. Quavo does a lot of the production, he was saying, which I didn't know. Like, they're involved in every step of the way, from the production, the mixing, the writing. It's not just this bullshit that's thrown together. And I was like, all right, you're really proving me wrong. So I listened back again, and then I was just, enjoying that, and then this happened. So I don't know if that's why I felt sad. I also felt really disturbed because, like you said, Dan, he was 28. The way it happened, which we'll get into, but also he's that dude who wasn't like obviously the type of music they make. They're flashy dudes. They're wearing chains. They're wearing the gear, designer clothes, and all that stuff, and cars, and blah blah blah. But he was that like quiet dude in the room. Like you could tell he wasn't like a yapper. He wasn't like a 6ix9ine type who encouraged dickheads to do that to him or put himself in those situations. He just seemed like a quiet guy. Everyone seemed to be cool with him. He was the reason it happened. He's the one who encouraged Quavo to rap with him and stuff, and to make it happen. So I was like, I don't know. I thought about it for days. Like, it just really bothered me. Like, I didn't get upset like I did for, say, Nipsey, but I felt very uneasy. I don't know if y'all have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, like,
Just
no,
tread.
I agree. Yeah, I agree completely. Like, I don't know, for me, like, it's hard to. It's obviously in my head. I'm trying to compare. It's really bad to say, but I'm really trying to compare if there has been something bigger since like Chadwick Boseman, And it's like this one is, to me, is very big because I listened to them quite frequently, And it's like, to think that there will never actually be a song with them again is like crazy. Like, I watched what was it? The DJ Khaled, it was a Migos song. I think "Party All the Time," that song. And I was listening to it. I was like, no, Takeoff is actually like, he's actually sick. Like, he's actually such a sick artist. So it's like, I don't know. It's just crazy because Migos, they are often referred to as like a big collective. And it's like, the fact that collective is like essentially gone. It's a bit fucked, isn't it?
What do you reckon,
Like
Yosh?
crazy.
Just honestly, yeah, like you said, you were a little uneasy and sad in a way, and like I felt the same way. I mentioned it to some mates that I saw on like Wednesday and Thursday, and I was just like, man, it doesn't even seem real. It seems like the dumbest shit to happen. How the fuck can that even go down? I mean, yeah, so successful in the mix, and these motherfuckers are trendsetters. They have been for ages. Because like, yeah, like I remember, I don't know what year it was, but our friend Billist got me onto Migos in the car when I was smoking woods with them in Scarborough. Like, I've been listening to them for a long time, and I was like, okay, like I don't know, I didn't realize I've been listening to them so long since that memory popped up in my head. I was like, fuck, I've been exposed to these cunts for a while. But yeah, like you mentioned before, Quavo does lots of beats. They're so involved in every step of the way, and it's just yeah. And as Dan said as well, it's just broken the collective and their like dynasty that they were building, because they actually had such momentum and they're also individually talented, and all the moving parts just worked. And it's super sad that it's got taken away in such a fashion, which, like you said, we'll get into. But man, it's just like, are you fucking serious? Like, come on, bro. Like, where's the control? Where's the, I don't know. Just seems really off.
But
No,
yeah,
I
like
get
why
you.
him? Like why of all
Why
people?
him?
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah.
It just felt so
Like,
undeserved. Like that's maybe what makes us all feel fucked about it. Like
yeah,
no, he didn't do shit to nobody. He's just
Yeah.
doing his thing.
Mhm.
He wasn't even gambling
No
involved in all
scandals,
that stuff.
no
So.
nothing.
yeah. Like, for me, your point about the exposure is like, it's true, because it's like, I feel like that's why I feel so uneasy, because he's an artist that I've been around, like, as in listened to multiple times, as in grown up listening to, and he as an active rapper,
Mm.
it's like, yeah, I've listened to a lot of rappers who have passed, like obviously Biggie, Tupac, a lot of people, but it's like this guy wasn't active. He was actively in my Apple Music like very much, like very frequently, and I would have listened to him back in like year 7, when in like, I'm trying to figure what year that would have been, like 2009 maybe,
Were they out
or
then?
something.
I thought they
Nah, I
dropped
feel
in
like
2013 is my understanding, but I might be wrong.
yeah, I feel like it was more 2012 when the first song I listened to was Versace with Drake,
Okay, let's see
and
when
that
that came
was
out.
like a
Oh,
long
true.
time ago. That was a long time ago.
Let me see. I remember people, because everyone was talking about this like all week.
Let's
Versace.
see.
So I want to see if
Versace came out in 2013.
2013. So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that shit is like extra fucked up. So basically, this story, from what like I saw a bunch of stuff after the fact. So the high level is they were in Houston. They were at a a party, like a bowling alley party thrown by Jay Prince Jr. So most people should know who Jay Prince is, the senior dude who founded Rap A Lot Records and Ghetto Boy, Scarface, etc. He has 2 sons, from what I understand, that are active, Jay Prince Jr. and Jazz Prince. Jazz Prince is the one who found Drake, or Drake was brought to him, and then he's the one who kind of brought it to Wayne and Jay Prince and kind of put Drake on. So the idea is that most people are familiar with like the check-in culture for hip-hop artists. So if you go to a city, if you go to Detroit, you got to check in with the gangsters there. If you go to LA, you got to check in with to make sure that the point of it is that like it makes the people in the city feel like I'm the fucking man, and you have to come and talk to me before you come to my city, and I'll keep you safe, and I'll make sure they don't rob you. That's really the main thing, and then it gives the rappers like a arguably false sense of security, meaning that no one can run up on them, because if people hear like everyone, it's rough times in the world, typically rough times in the States for even longer, in the sense of if you know that, and you're the dudes who jack people anyway, and you know that this rapper's coming to town, he's going to have $500,000 of jewelry on, and he's going to bring cash with him, he's going to have this and that. You're like, well, that's a lot, let's go get him type shit. And the checking in stops that happening, is supposedly. So they
Interesting. I never heard of it.
Oh really? Okay.
That's some mafia shit. It's like
never
they
heard
come
of
and
that.
drop off a little money, and they fucking, it's like, here's my little, my coming into town fee. Look after me.
Interesting.
So I don't even know if there is a fee, though. That's a good point, Nosh. I don't know if there is, but yeah, it's something.
It does. You never know.
Yeah, it might be. That's a great point. And maybe it differs from town to town or whatever, and who you check it in with. But the idea is that, particularly if you go to a place like LA that's super gang infested, and that you want to move around the city, and if you've got a name, people are going to be watching you. That's how Pop Smoke got. Like, I don't know if he checked in or whatever the fuck, right, type of shit. Or people were going to do it anyway. So
yeah,
they were with these guys. They were at the party finished at 1. This was about, and they stayed afterwards, and it was kind of like in this building that almost looked like a mall or some shit. And it was on this sort of balcony area, indoor balcony type of thing, and they were doing some sort of dice game or some shit, sort of just like gambling, hanging out, or whatever the fuck, which is already kind of weird for dudes who probably had $250,000 worth of jewelry on them or some shit, and they are who they are. Like, why are you doing that? So the initial story went, it was like 2:30 a.m. or something. Quavo was losing money. He was getting mad. And then there was videos that came out. It looks like he was arguing with some dude about basketball or something. And he said something like, man, I don't get down like that. Like, let's go. Not like, let's go, let's fight, but like, let's get out of here. Then it kind of like felt like people were throwing punches, and then you heard bullets. You heard gunshots, and then Takeoff got shot. So that was like the high level, like that's what happened. Then I started seeing shit. I don't know if you guys saw, but like all this shit was trending on Twitter. Jay Prince was trending, and I saw some. So there's a couple of different things. There's like the deeper Houston side, and then I read like full on Illuminati conspiracy theory side.
Oh goodness!
Which I think those things are kind of funny.
You got to read them all.
I
got to make sure you read them all.
It's pretty hectic, and
hell.
there's a lot of like coincidences that like I don't know what to think. As far as like there's this thing called gematria, which is like a number thing. So like he died, it was November 1st, so 1 + 1 whatever equals that. Like
Oh,
that equals
fucking hell.
all those type of things.
Relax.
But when you add it up, and he died at 2:30, like 2 + 3, blah, blah, and all that type of shit. So like it was kind of wild. I'm not even really gonna actually. I won't even go into that because I don't remember it all. Those things always say it's like a sacrificial ritual. They knew that he was going to do it. Quavo set him up, and blah blah blah.
Oh my
the
god.
other side is, and when you read it, you're like, okay, I can see. All I would say, it's plausible. That's all. Like it adds up in this weird way. It's unlikely, but plausible, which is for a lot of those things. The other side, people. So when Jay Prince was trending, did you guys see that at all?
No.
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 So like it was, it was people telling stories about all the times that shit had gone wrong with when anyone's around those dudes. So apparently, Jay Prince had been with somebody else 2 months ago, supposedly protecting them, and then they got shot and killed. I can't remember who it was. I don't think it was someone as notable as Takeoff. They were saying that it was something like there was some sort of other beef in the city that almost Quavo and Takeoff were sort of mediating or something between Jay Prince's crew and some other cunts in like Fifth Ward, which is the hood, like the Compton, I guess, of Houston. It was something about that, but and this girl called into this like show or whatever, and they put the audio on Twitter, and she said that like I'm not gonna say who I am because I know the Prince family know me, I know them, but I was there, and they go, nobody had guns there except Jay Prince's crew, because if you're gonna be around them, they search you, and you can't bring in guns, right?
Your shit.
So they want to be in control or whatever the fuck, so nothing could go wrong. It's just if you're around them, that's how it works or something. So they were saying there's a lot of like really grimy shit that Jay Prince Jr. specifically had been doing, how they've been fucking artists over for years, manipulating situations, taking advantage. They always talk about, because they're, the Drake song Mob Ties? That's what they are called. Yeah. They're called Mob Ties. That's what he's talking about in that song. So it's like they are the Houston like mob or whatever the fuck. Whether that's true or not, it's a different thing. But that's what they call themselves. Like Jay Prince Jr. that now has a hat that said Mob Ties on it. You see the photos and shit.
Dang.
So then,
asking for it, mate.
Yeah, basically that's the way they see themselves. They see themselves as this mafia type of shit, which is exactly what you said, Nosh. Like that's how they, you come, you talk to me, I can make sure you're good, whether you take a fee for it or whatever, and then they feel like they're the man. But apparently they're just a bunch of grimy, they fuck over local artists. Like they kind of have a lock on the scene. Like if you are from Houston, you want to come up, they control everything, so you have to pay them to get the the shows and any connections and blah blah blah. So they have some sort of like dirty
gatekeeping thing going
on. Gatekeeping thing, exactly. That's exactly what it is. So like that was like the gist of basically things we're saying. So they think there might have been some sort of, I don't know if it was a hit and intended, because I don't know what they would have got out of it, because there were still other dudes with Quavo and Takeoff's camp that were with them, like other people there, that it wasn't like he was shot and then robbed or anything, because there was that. You saw, I don't know if you guys saw some of the video footage, it's pretty fucked up. There was some where
video.
Yeah, I saw loads of, like, Reddit has so much video footage, it's crazy. Yeah. As in, like, right next to his body kind of thing. Like, it's crazy.
With the blood on the ground and Quavo, like...
Yeah, with blood on the ground. People stood above him. Quavo literally screaming above his body. Like, I've seen everything. Reddit is fucked. Like, I've seen so much shit.
That's wild. I don't want to see that shit.
I probably would have preferred not to in hindsight, but...
Holy fuck.
Just want to see if it was real and if it was really happening. So
yeah, exactly.
It seems like there's some, maybe more stuff will come out. No one said anything yet, though. Like, only person, I think the label put out a statement, and I think one of the owners, like Quality Control is a label, so one of the dudes, I think there's a guy called Coach K, is that right? And then P. I don't know why they've all just got letters as names, but those are the... Dude, I've forgotten the names of the dudes, but I think one of them or both of them might have put out little, nice little statements, but Offset hasn't said anything, but he did change his Instagram picture to a photo of, profile picture to a photo of Takeoff. No one else has said anything. Like, no Cardi, I guess not that she's closely associated, I guess, and blah, blah, blah. So, people were also saying that Offset, I got a little bit of a rabbit hole about it all. and I don't remember all of it. People were saying Offset's situation was they were trying to fuck him somehow with the contract, so he was able to get out and keep all of his own, own all of his own trademarks and keep all the publishing that he had and everything like that. So they seem amicable because on Drink Champs they didn't talk shit about him at all. Like it was very respectful, which is cool, right? You never want to see family because they're all family, like beefing and shit.
Literally cousins, right?
Yes, I believe they're all cousins with Offset, and Quavo's Takeoff's uncle. If I'm not mistaken, that's what I believe. So I'm probably missing a bunch of shit. It was pretty deep, and I only just read it for a little while. Like I just kept looking at all the tweets and listening to that girl call in and try to see. But I imagine more stuff will come out over time. But either way, it's a really sad situation. It's sad for hip hop, like you said, Dan. Most of the people who would be like, there hasn't been anyone that big for a while.
Yeah.
As far as rappers, maybe Nipsey was the last really big one.
Yeah.
Which is 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Like March 31st, 2019. Yes, it was, because I was going to Australia listening to him, came back, and then he passed, yeah. So I mean, there was Chadwick in between, Virgil, PNB Rock, but I didn't really know who he was, to be honest. I'm mildly familiar. So either way, though, it hasn't been anyone this big for a while. It's pretty fucked up, and I didn't really think about it, that it was one of the first dudes that a generation had grown up with, which is different.
Yeah.
A lot of the other ones, the dudes from the 90s or the 2000s and stuff, were the cats that we grew up with. That had happened to a lot of people, unfortunately. But this, for y'all generation, there's been a few, I guess, Accentation, Lil Peep, for people who fuck with him pretty heavy, like stuff like that. But I don't know if they had been anyone who'd been as active as long as Takeoff, like 10 years, the Juice WRLD and stuff. Juice WRLD was important, but he hadn't been out for 10 years. He was 21 when he died, if I'm not mistaken. So, fucked up, man. Fucked up.
It's fucked. All these babies are dying, bro. You need to stop that.
Being a rapper is the most dangerous job in the world, it seems like, eh? Like,
fucking hell, mate.
Definitely not optimal. So rest in peace, Takeoff, man. Shit is fucked up,
Rest in peace.
And speaking of that, there was another death yesterday, I believe. Aaron Carter. Everyone should probably know who he is, I guess. Nick Carter from Backstreet Boys, I think, right? Or one of those groups. Yeah. So his younger brother. I was looking yesterday when I saw it happen. He was trending on Twitter, of course, and I was looking through, and a lot of people were remembering him fondly. And they were showing all these like videos of him rapping when he was like, must have been like 10, rapping and singing. And I was like, I'd never seen any of this stuff because it was literally for children. It must have been 20 years ago, but I was not a child, so I did not see it. So I don't. Did you ever see him, Dan? Because he would have been your.
Nah, just I know vaguely about the Backstreet Boys, but I mean, I don't know much about.
Because Backstreet Boys.
Aaron either.
No. Okay, because Backstreet Boys would have been around. They would have been peaking around the time you were born. But Aaron,
Aaron would have been your Bieber, Dan.
He was. They said, do you know what I read? They were like, Aaron Carter walked so Justin Bieber could run.
Really? I don't know.
So
Bieber was his own kind of thing.
The GOAT, right?
Of my generation. Yeah, the GOAT of my generation. So I don't know.
He's all of our GOATs. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean.
So Aaron, people knew him more recently because he tatted up his face. He'd been using drugs heavy, and he'd been saying pretty wild shit in interviews. Like he did a lot of stuff with like Vlad and Adam 22 and stuff, and saying pretty crazy stuff. You could tell he was.
I saw Adam 22 tweet about him, saying RIP and stuff. They were close or whatever. But yeah.
Yeah, he said that last time he saw him, which wasn't like a week or two ago, he was not in the best shape. And he was, I don't know, if you check his interviews, you'd be like, oh. So one real thing that he did, apparently, he said people, they stepped in, like the legal folks around the Michael Jackson time, because he was friends with Michael Jackson. That's how big he was, and that's even stranger to me because I just had no concept of really who he was. back then or anything. And they said they tried to get him to lie and say that Michael had done stuff to him, and he was, even as a kid, and pay him for it too. And he was like, "Nah, man, fuck that. I'm not lying about this guy. Like, he's being good to me. I'm not gonna say he fucking touched me when he didn't." So that was pretty gangster. I saw a little clip of that interview. It was on Vlad. But yeah, I'd definitely say to go back. I mean, maybe it's a little sad even to see, like, he just seems so like confident in saying things that just weren't true. You could tell it just wasn't true, and he's just saying stuff like. It's kind of sad. They found him in a bathtub, so maybe he overdosed and drowned, or fell, like, took too much drugs or whatever, fell asleep, and that was it. So that's pretty fucked up. I don't have as much to say on that just because I don't know. It sounds like none of us really know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
about that.
Sorry.
So that's okay. No, we're not expecting. This is not a a pop podcast.
It's not cool with cunts dying. I don't know. We just don't know anything about him, so can't go on for too long.
Exactly. So either way, rest in peace to Aaron Carter as well. Couple little fucked up ones in the last since the last ep. But to switch it up a little bit, you want to get into Drizzly?
Drizzly, who went 16 for 16. That, are you referring to that Drizzly?
That's the Drizzly I'm talking about.
That's the Drizzly.
So should we do what we normally do, the song by song, because it's like more of the larger projects? I've listened to it like about 4 or 5 times now, so I'm pretty familiar with what. Excuse me. Pull up on my phone.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna pull up on my phone as well.
So basically, if you've been living under a rock, Drake and 21 Savage dropped a collaboration album called Her Loss. 16 tracks. I saw some stats. If we actually take a look at the stats from our good old reliable friend Hip Hop by the Numbers, he actually broke down the percentage of time Drake raps versus 21. I thought I found it. Okay, 66% with Drake, 26% with 21, and 8% with guests.
That doesn't surprise me, and I'm really glad it was like that as well. Like, I'm very happy that it was like that, because my fear was this would be very much a like straight 50-50. 21's gonna have a lot of his own songs, and then it's like I do like 21 as a feature on a lot of tracks actually, but I don't like him as his music's not for me as a solo artist. It's not for me.
Yeah,
you know. But I did like his timestamp song. His 3 a.m. in Glenwood. I kind of like that actually. I kind of like that. But like his music for me is very hit and miss unless he's on a feature with J. Cole. So, but on this, I'm very happy with what he done and his involvement in it. But some of his bars were just funny. It was just really funny and lazy. But like, that's just kind of what I expected from him. It's like I keep on seeing the meme of people laughing about what's it? The bar where he says, "I don't have to show ID at the club because they know I'm 21." I was like, "Oh my god, it's so funny."
That's like, actually pretty good.
I'm not expecting him to say anything crazy. That's why I don't mind it. Like, whatever. Like, it's 21 Savage. I don't really care. But like, yeah, I'm very this album was so sick. I loved it.
Did you hear it, Nosh?
Yeah, I heard pretty much. I think all of it. I went to a mate's house after the other night, and then I pretty much got through 2/3 of it. I don't know. Also, the cunts were talking, so I didn't actually sit with it by myself and take it all in. Pause, but I need to. Okay. Yeah, like I get what Dan's saying. Like, it sounds like 21's like kind of riding with a smirk on his face the whole time. It's low key funny, and it's weird.
Yeah,
but it's also good. Sounds like Drake's having fun too. Drake's like kind of just spitting shit, like saying cocky bars, and like
he was just having fun, which is what I loved about it.
Sounds like
it was no like nothing was too serious, but like the most serious song was like Middle of the Ocean. Yeah. But then other than that, it was like the stuff he was saying was hilarious. Like saying stuff like he doesn't get involved in politics. No, he says something like, "I've never voted for the president once, but if I did, I would vote Tiana Trump." I was like, this guy is so funny. And he's like, I gave 500,000 to my hoes, call me a feminist. I was like, this guy's the great. I was like, this guy's just the greatest of all time.
I appreciate that, and I think exactly those are great examples. And Notion nailed it. That it was a fun album. So like Drake just had CLB, which is his usual shit. You know, I think that wasn't his greatest work. Then he had Honestly Nevermind, which was a shock to everybody, but it grew on most people, I think. But there was one song with rapping really, and it wasn't what anyone was used to. And then
what's so crazy about that though? Jimmy Cook's on that album.
Just
I
hit
don't really
number
like
one.
it that much.
No, it's not that
I
good.
don't really like it that much. Like in comparison to all the other songs, and I really like the other songs. In comparison.
Massive.
Like, Jimmy Cooks was like Massive was a fucking banger, but like, Jimmy Cooks was the rapping song, and don't get me wrong, it's a good song.
It's fine.
But it's crazy how actually like a good song on a house album when I don't listen to house is probably the worst song on the house album, which is crazy. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's weird to me.
I know what you mean. It was a strange thing. So this was like a nice sort of like a. I mean, he dropped. When was CLB? Was that this year? That was this year. It was January or something.
No, that wasn't this year.
It wasn't this year. Okay.
Let me find it.
Either way, in like his last 3 album run, he did 2 albums pretty quickly, back to back.
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy. So it was when I was listening to it the first time, I'm like, this is the rapping Drake that I wanted to hear back in action again.
Yep.
Overall,
CLB was September 2021.
September, okay. So still within a year, that's 3 albums. So since September to now, just over a year, that's 3 albums. I guess it was, November 4th or whatever it was on Friday. So maybe we can just quickly run through the tracks and what we thought of them. First track, Rich Flex.
Rich Flex was... I listened to that. I genuinely had goosebumps. It was such a fucking sick intro. Oh my god. Yeah, it's a great song. They couldn't have started off the album better. Like, it was so good. But it was so funny. There's this one meme going around where it's like people think Drake's flirting with 21 Savage because he kept saying, 21, do your thing, 21, do your thing. And I'm seeing people like twerking to it. And it's like Drake's rapping and flirting with 21 while he's twerking.
I've seen that, the cartoon thing, the little like 3D thing.
I've seen so many different ones.
Okay,
so many different ones.
It was a weird little thing. Like Drake did that little intro part and then 21 raps straight away. Definitely a hard paused way to set the album off. Then this was an interesting, the second song called Major Distribution. It's like a real slow jam almost.
It starts off really slow and then he's like proper rapping.
It was just a strange sort of like sonic change. I think I've noticed a bunch of the songs have like, they got the change ups like midway, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, which is great. I love the beat switches.
Big fan of that. That was a cool track. On BS is the next one. That one's pretty sick as well. Pretty dark. They did a fake Saturday. Oh, we should talk about the rollout to this as well as we're sort of talking.
Oh my god, we have to speak about the rollout. It was so fucking good. Everything is fake. It's just so good.
So they did a fake NPR where they just posted the intro, and if you really look at it, you know it's fake. But for a second, you're like, "What the fuck?" Everything is like almost perfect. But
I saw it and I was like, "Oh my god!" I went straight on YouTube. It was like 1 a.m. and I went straight on YouTube. I was like, "Oh my god, I have to watch this. I don't care what time it is." And it wasn't real.
It wasn't real. So they had that. They had a fake Saturday Night Live performance, and they even got Michael B. Jordan to be like Drake and 21 Savage. And then they did this on BS song, and they did it full. And I was looking at it, and like they walked out like onto the stage, like everything looked normal. They had the microphones and everything, and the fake studio audience like noise. And then I'm like, oh, they're not rapping to that. That's like they're just mouthing it. And then they were cussing. I'm like, okay, this is another fake thing. Because it dropped today. No, we watched it last night at like 1 or 2 a.m. or something. So we thought, oh, they must have like uploaded it right away. So they must have scheduled it to come at Saturday night just after that. So that was pretty genius. They had like a Vogue thing. I think it was fake too.
Yeah.
All this stuff, which basically the whole theme was just fake, and it was pretty funny. The GQ
fake Howard Stern.
Yes.
Fake Howard Stern podcast was so funny. The stuff he was saying.
That was a good one.
Stuff they were both saying. I was like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know. It
was brilliant, and I think it plays back into kind of what Nosh was saying about it just being like they were having fun. Like, I bet it was a real fun album for them to put together. And to put together rollout. There's no official videos or nothing yet that we've seen. It's just all bullshit. Everything they put out is just a joke. And like, that's really interesting. I don't think anyone else but these guys could have really done that. I think it'd be pretty tough. for anybody. Like if an up and coming artist went and did all that stuff, you'd be like, all right, bro, you know, you think you're on Saturday Night Live. Whereas like obviously Drake, I'm sure he's done it before. I don't know for sure, but
he's done it.
But all the things he fake
and
did.
He performed on it.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Oh yeah. Of course, he's hosted it too. Yeah. Of course he fucking hosted. I remember that now. He did all those wicked skits. It was one of the best Saturday Night Lives ever, except for Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
All the things that they did that were fake, they could have done it for real, but they chose to do it fake, which is so much funnier coming from them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked if it was somebody else. So that was genius. So they did that on bullshit thing, which was pretty cool. Then something's interesting. There's a bunch of solo Drake songs on here, and I only noticed now that it was, since when you said that, Dan, the 3am on Glenwood, which we'll get to after, was 21 Savage's solo, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize, because that's one of Drake's sort of, you know, timestamp songs, and this is weird that Drake didn't do it. So that's cool. Next is Back Outside Boys. I think this one was okay. I didn't love this one.
Yeah, that one's growing on me. It's fine. That one's like a decent song, but like I'm starting to like it more. Okay. It's just not as good as a lot of other songs.
Okay, you're gonna probably have to comment on these, because now I bet if I heard them, I'm like, oh yeah, that one. But I'm looking at the names. I'm like, I don't know.
I'm looking at the lyrics as well. Like Privileged Rapper has the line where he says, "Let's have sex in the bank."
Okay.
I remember that one. Privileged Rapper, yeah.
Okay.
That was a great shit.
So that was the next one. That's cool. I can't remember. Okay. Song called "Spin 'Bout You."
I'm trying to even remember this one.
See, we thought we knew.
See. Maybe if I play it for 2 seconds, maybe I'll remember it. Let me see.
You probably could, or if you look at you can do that. Look at the lyrics either or. Oh yeah, because you can play it and hear it just in your heady, so then you're safe.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can hear it just in my headies. There you go. It actually works much better. I can just do that while we go through it.
Yeah, and then you could speak to it a bit more. That'd be handy.
Actually, yes.
And then, all right. So it's like, if you play that one, just to tell us about that, and then we can keep it moving. Because I remember some of these other ones now. It's an hour too, so 16 songs in 1 hour total, which is an interesting. Oh no, we can hear it.
Oh, okay. I remember. Oh, you can hear it.
Yeah, I can hear that. If it's like a fraction of a second, if it's like a second or two, it'll be fine.
Okay, yeah. I remember that song. That's the one where he speaks about it's like 8 words I describe your X-Man as crusty, musty.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah. And
that was funny.
8 words. Yeah, that was good. He goes 8 words when I think about you is fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me.
That was good.
I remember that one.
Yeah, so that was a great little banger. The next one was Hours in Silence. There was some slow. Yeah.
Yeah. Hours in Silence is one of the slower ones as well.
Okay. Where Drake, what surprised me was that I thought this album would be like 16 hook, and they do their thing. But Drake even did a lot of his usual shit, his usual slow things where he goes off and they do these bridges and he's just doing some singing things for like a minute and a half. Like, I was kind of surprised that they went that route with this project. Not mad at it, but I just thought that this would be a little more like, you know, straightforward and just like raps. But that shows that they, you know, it feels like a Drake album. Like, I mean, even if you look at those percentages, 66% of the bars are Drake. Yeah. It feels like a Drake album featuring 2021. So that's okay, because it's almost like kind of what you said, Dan. Like, he's better in smaller doses, I think.
Yeah, he's way better. So like, I really don't hate him as a feature. Like, he does it's like genuinely excellent as a feature in some most songs anyway. So
yeah,
I'm very happy it was a small percentage. And I remember Hours of Silence. Hours of Silence was like an R&B kind of track.
Yeah.
And Treacherous Twins was another one which I really liked.
Yeah, so that was
it's very dark tones, but it was actually really good.
Treacherous Twins was the banger. This was the controversial one. The next one called Circo Loco.
Circo Loco was so interesting. That was the one with the One More Time sample.
Yeah, which I didn't love, and he's rapping really fast. That's the one they said that he dissed Megan Thee Stallion, but I found...
Yes, he did.
I don't believe he did. I saw on Reddit, they broke it down. So...
Yeah, I don't think he's referring to her actually being shot.
He's not
referring to... Oh, I thought he was referring to, like, back shots, like the dog getting hurt.
Oh,
I don't know.
So that's possible. That's what I read... Okay, so someone had a screenshot of, like, the bars... and they were like in the lines leading up. He talked about something about Italian, something about France. In that line, he said she lied about having shots or getting shots, but she's still a stallion. There was some model from Germany called Elke the Stallion, and she said her ass was natural, but it came out that she got ass shots, like the injections.
Oh.
And she's German. And then the next line was about another country. I forgot what it was. So, like, if you look at the consecutive bars,
it makes sense. It's definitely not about Megan.
Yes, and it made no sense for it to.
Yeah, but to be fair, I have a list here of the disses he has on the album, and none of them really like. It's kind of like whoa, like what?
Do you want to go? Do you want to read that out? Oh, are you still there? Dan froze.
Looks a little frozen, mate. Pop in the freezer.
Okay, you're good. You're good. You're good. Do you want to talk about the disses? Because a bunch of them are on this song, and then they keep going. So we could talk about them, or do you want to talk about them song by song?
We can talk about the disses. I've got a list here from Complex.
Okay, read that out first because it's pretty funny.
The first one, the Megan Thee Stallion one. Yeah, he did. The Megan Thee Stallion one, which obviously we just debunked that. So I don't think it's about Megan Thee Stallion.
It just makes no sense at all.
The funnier one was Serena Williams' husband.
Yeah, I'm like,
it's
why?
Like, he just like, what? And it was like, it had nothing to do with the song.
No, he even said that.
Sidebar. He goes, sidebar, Serena, your husband's a groupie. I was like, whoa. I was like, what the fuck? So
that was pretty weird. And I asked
yeah, go on, sorry.
I asked Tiff said that Drake did date Serena at one point, so that could be why.
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah, he did.
Yeah, so it could just be like maybe he doesn't like Drake because it's his wife's ex. So maybe he said some shit and he heard about it and said some shit like that. Yeah. Okay.
Sure, could be, possibly. There's the supposed Kanye West diss where he says, linking with the ops, bitch, I did that for Jay Prince.
Yes.
And he says, bitch, I did that for the mob ties.
Which is coming back to what I said earlier, right?
Which is coming back to what you said earlier, which is kind of like making sense to me now.
So basically he's saying when they did the Larry Hoover concert and when he invited Kanye over to the crib and they had that thing with Dave Chappelle talking and stuff, that was all, bullshit, and he just did it for the sake of it. And Kanye even like screenshot someone talking about it and tweeted about it too.
He tweeted about it, but he didn't like go in on him. He started speaking about love speech, not hate speech. I was like,
yeah,
that's surprising.
Which is new shit. Okay. So
I was like, fair enough. There's that, and he did someone called Dram, D-R-A-M. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he's a singer, dude. Because they said that Hotline Bling stole his song called Cha Cha, which is why he said that.
Oh.
Yeah. So it was a controversy from whenever that song dropped 5 years ago. Because I saw a video of Dram saying that. He's like, look, Drake, you're pussy. Like, that was 5 fucking years ago. Why are you bringing it up now? Like, yeah, you stole my shit, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
That's so funny. Those are the disses. And then, what was funny was they're not like kind of
no.
They're like pretty overt. Like it's obvious who's dissing.
And they're not like hard disses. They're not like trying to.
They're not hard disses. Maybe the Serena Williams husband one's quite hard, but like other than that. There were a bunch of memes about 21, like Drake dragging 21 Savage into like 13 beefs, and he's like, "The fuck." Yeah. So like Pusha T was trending and shit about it too, because they're like, "Oh, he didn't go. He had bars for everybody but Pusha T," which is that is so funny.
Wow,
which is true,
interesting.
But...
So Push might come with some shit. Keep this moving. We're almost done this one. Pussy and Millions, which is the only feature, which is Travis Scott. This was a banger. I like this one a lot.
Which is great. I think Travis was great on it as well.
Yep.
It was a really good tune.
Travis killed it. It's kind of exactly as you expect.
Broke Boys. This is my favorite song on the album. It has the beat switch in the middle. And he's got at the start, he's got the line where he's 21 Savage speaking about how he's got stripes. And then Drake's in the background saying, "Yeah, I got stripes, but fuck Adidas."
Yo, that was funny as fuck.
So funny.
It was like 21 had a line. It was almost like she had like a bar, and then like how like these guys really rap with a lot of space right now. It's kind of like a thing that a lot of cats do, whereas like maybe in our time, like dudes are like filling up all the space with all the words because that shows how good of a lyricist you are. So like they had this, it was very clever. It was like, you know how 21's always in the background doing his ad libs, like, oh god, 21, whatever. Like 21 would have this bar that's a little bit short, and then Drake would almost finish the line and it kind of almost rhymed, or it did rhyme. It did rhyme, yeah?
It was, yeah, basically.
So it was like,
it reminded me of like an intrusive thought or like an internal dialogue in your head. It was like, I got more stripes than Adidas. Yeah, I got stripes with fuck Adidas. I was like, wow.
So like it was almost so like fun. It was a bar for bar type shit, but it was like mixed as a as an ad lib, but came across like an internal thought. That's a really good way to describe it. It was fucking hilarious. I only kind of noticed it on like the third listen through, like because I'm playing, I'm talking, I'm in the car, I'm doing shit, whatever, and I was like, yo, that was honestly, if that was that song, that's one of the funniest shits on the whole thing. I appreciated that a lot. Yeah. That was great.
It was just so good.
That was really good. The next one was Middle of the Ocean, and that to me was like quintessential Drake rapping for like 4 minutes, no hook.
Yes.
Just bars, saying shit. I'm like, that's what I want to hear. I want to hear Drake do that, because that's when he's at he's playful with the flows. Like, no one can really do it like him. If you listen to we listened to Churchill Downs, the Jack Harlow song the other day, and I really noticed Jack was doing his best Drake impression with those flows where you like you know, on that song Drake says shit like he does those like the same word rhyming, so he'd be like women with women, like you don't change up the word or whatever. He did that a lot, but the way he does it is like just okay. It's okay to do it. I do it too here and there. But like Jack took it too far, I thought, on that, and it was like not cool. It sounded like try hard. Whereas when Drake did it, this was the textbook version of how to do that.
It was textbook, yeah. It was so good. It reminded me of Sandra's Rose.
Yes, that's
that
a great song.
It's like Sandra's Rose, Survival. There's another song which is similar to it as well, which I'm trying to think of, but yeah, it's just so fucking good.
Emotions.
Super dope. Say that again, Nosh?
The song Emotions off the Scorpion album you're talking about, like Sandra's Rose and stuff.
Yeah. It's literally same vibes as that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great references.
Also like Chicago Freestyle, When to Say When, like similar to that.
Very cool. And I think the album needed that. You just need that. Because I was like, oh, when's 21 coming in? But then I looked at the thing. I'm like, oh, it just says Drake. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
So Drake has like 4 solo songs, I think, here, if I'm not mistaken. 1 and 3. Yeah, so there's 4. So that was dope. Then it goes right into Jumbo Shit Poppin', which is Jumbotron Shit Poppin', sorry. Which is another Drake solo. I think it's a bit more of a banger, if I'm not mistaken, no?
Yeah, it wasn't my thing. It wasn't. It was one of the less like these last 4 songs. They're all right to me. They're good. They're not like the highlight of the album. I quite like More M's though. More M's quite.
Which is the next one.
Which is the next one. It's a good song.
Yes, that was a banger.
It's just like rapid, like really rapping,
which is cool. And then 3 a.m. on Glenwood with 21 solo, which I didn't even notice. They all blend. Yeah, all the songs blend really well together.
They blend really well, yeah.
So it was like sometimes if I'm not looking on the thing to see what song it is, like I don't even realize that it had changed a lot of the time.
That's why I have no idea what songs you're talking about. Let's hear it, because I didn't sit and look at the track names, unfortunately. It was just on. I couldn't see a display because it was running through the home theater system. So yeah, unfortunately, I fucking no
not
names.
For sure. Yeah, it's unless you and you have to hear it a few times to remember the lines too, type shit. So yeah, I get it. The 3 a.m. and Glenwood, I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts on that. I guess I have to listen back again. I don't know if you had anything on that, Dan.
No, that to me it was good because it was like a way more of a slow song, and 21 Savage on them kind of beats. It actually like it goes pretty hard. So I was quite happy with that, especially that being his own solo track, because he could have really fucked the album by having a bunch of his. But like it was good. It was good. It was kind of like it's kind of like his J. Cole a lot, that song. Kind of give you like his verse on that kind of vibe.
I can see that
tune.
Not the greatest, but I feel because Anyway, we'll get to, and the last song is a solo Drake song called "I Guess It's Fuck Me," which I love the title because A dude just said it. I don't know. Are you watching Love Is Blind? I know Brad knows.
Oh my god, I've watched every single episode.
It's so lit.
Good.
Yo.
Oh my god, it's so good.
And that Matthew guy, when he said that, I guess it's fuck me, right?
I guess it's fuck me, right? I guess it's fuck me, right? No, you know he's crazy.
Yeah, he's off his head,
like,
bro.
Psycho.
Off his head.
He is off his rocker. Like, he's fucking crazy.
No, she needs to get on.
It's so good. Oh my goodness.
I just refuse, bro. No,
dude,
thanks.
we're already saving horrendously bad series and movies for Christmas, for the days of Christmas. So get ready. Get ready for that. It's about to be.
I'll have to bring all the joints.
Yeah, you're going to
Love Is Blind is like a whole other conversation. It's just so.
It was painful last year. It'll be painful this year. I'm ready for it, boys. Don't worry.
You got to lean into it, or it's not fun. You have to just be like, I want some dumb shit right now, and it's the camaraderie it's in all of us. I know what you're saying.
Okay for the one day. Yeah.
Totally. The fun shit is that it's safe for us sitting around together, because me, Tiff, and Dan used to watch a lot of this stuff. That's how it started. And the fun part is watching it together and yelling at the TV. Like, you fucking idiot. The fuck are you doing, you dumb cunt? Like, why is you, like, and breaking down what they're doing. That's the fun part. Because you know they're dumb cunts, and you just, there's something about it, man. It's just gloriously hilarious.
So that is literally me. That's me when Nancy's on the screen.
Fucking Nancy.
Nancy's too good for him. She's just,
she needs to dip.
So good.
Yeah.
And she just needs to get. She's got this 25-year-old's got her on ropes. Like, what the fuck? Like,
and sorry, no, and that Raven, I can't stand her. She's so horrible. She needs to.
He's
gonna say no.
At one point, I really couldn't, but then when I see the dynamic of their relationship, and it's like, if she wasn't with him and she was with someone else, it would not work. His patience with her is why it works.
Correct.
That's a good point. They're kind of like complete opposites, and that's why it actually works like proper. And like, I really didn't like Raven when Bartiz was like opening his heart out,
and then she's doing exercises.
She was exercising. He could hear it. He goes, "Are you exercising right now?"
And she's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You fucking dumbass."
That's why I really hate her. But then like after that, and when you see her and SK's relationship develop, it's kind of like, okay, I get it, and I don't dislike her at all. I just think she's quite cool.
Interesting. So there's this chick who's like the hottest one on the show, Notion, and she's with this Nigerian dude. So the hot chick's half black, half white, and the Nigerian dude obviously from there. And he's traditional, like his, like you see, like his mum and sister are telling her, like basically they go through, you know the concept of the show where they meet in these pods and they just talk.
No? Not really, but yeah, that's fairly easy to follow, yeah.
Yeah, so easy to follow. They got a whole bunch. Maybe they got 20 dudes, 20 chicks. They got them separated, and they have all of these pods where they go in. They have these dates every day, and it only really follows the ones that work. Like, they ended up being together. They fall in love with each other through the wall. They don't know what they look like. Then they shows their thing. They usually ask them to marry them from the other side of the wall. Then they see each other. Then it follows. Like, that was like 2 episodes, 1 or 2 episodes. Then the rest of it's following them trying to figure life out. And they do all these things. They send them out on this trip, and then now they're trying to follow it. Now they're having all their problems, learning more about each other, meeting families. So the Nigerian family said to this chick, who's obviously like an Instagram thought type of archetype. If I'm not saying she is, but the archetype.
It's the archetype. Yeah.
To paint that picture. And his mum and sister are like, well, you always, they're like, men are like big babies. You have to pamper them. You have to make sure there's always stew ready and waiting for him. You can't be going out anymore doing it. And she's just like, are you fucking serious? And she still goes through with it, because I think they just want to stay on the show, so they don't just call it quits. In real life, you'd be like, fuck this. But
fuck this cunt.
Like, on the show, they actually going to get married, and then they ask them, do you do it? And then they can say no. So they've only showed one couple so far, because they drop every Wednesday, and we all, I watch them, we wait for this shit. So, like, we're, like, all over it. So, I think, and they cut it off right as they asked the question with him, and I don't, with this SK dude, the Nigerian guy, I think he's going to be like, anyway, it's brilliant right now. Why did we bring that up? Because he said, I guess it's fuck me.
I guess it's fuck me.
Yes. So, we'll talk about it off air, Dan. We'll talk about it later, because we'll catch up. Because by the time we see each other, it'll be done anyway, so we'll be able to really go in. But we have some bangers
use some of that fucking bit for the clip, for the show, for the reel.
I'm
like
down
the
to.
bit where you guys went off about it.
Okay, I'm down
Just,
for that.
everybody loves that shit. Cunts will love it.
There you go. Look at that. Bringing the pop culture to the show.
Why not?
So overall, Drake, 21 Savage, Hurt Loss, we all fought. Like, I don't think it's as, how do I say this? I really like it. I don't think it's this fucking world-changing thing that everyone's circle jerking over, but I think it's great, and I'm going to continue to listen to it and enjoy it. And it's easier to just let it play, like we're in the car. It's kind of, doing stuff. You don't really want to be changing songs all the time. Playlists are cool. It's sometimes cool to put an album on. I'm happy to just let that play a bunch, which we've done the last few. Since it came out, every time we've been in the car, we just chuck it on. And like,
out of 10, what would you give?
Great question. I'll follow Dan. Dan, what would you give it out of 10?
I'd probably give it an 8.5 because like you said, it's like I see people saying it's a 16 for 16, and it's not 16 for 16.
Yeah.
It's probably 80%, in my opinion, 80% like amazing, like incredible. And there are a few songs there isn't a bad song, but there's a few songs where I'm just like, this is fine. I'm not gonna like listen to this when I go to the album. But then there's literally about probably like 13 songs I'd go to and listen to on the album. So I'm very like, it's probably an 8.5, approaching 9. Like everything about it is so good. Like, but like, yeah, it's not. And also, I saw another thing where someone said, finally Drake's released music that isn't all for TikTok. Like, it isn't like all this TikTok music, all this shit music that's been released now. He's actually released a good rap album, and I'm just like, that's also probably why I rate it a lot more, because it's like, fucking hell, it's like, this is the music we've been all waiting for since Donda, probably, and since CLB, probably. Because
is it because there's less strategy behind? Sorry to jump in there. Is it because there's like less strategy behind it? Because usually Drake's so calculated and has all these like he does like the fucking Tootsie slide, and all of a sudden there's a dance and TikTok. Like he's got like these songs designated for that platform or that way to get when cunts make up a dance for a song, they've done their homework and they're trying to banger and bring the money in. So yeah, this album didn't have any of that. Is that what you're saying? Like they didn't have any.
Yeah, it had none of that shit. Yeah, it was literally. I think you're right, because I think it was just them having fun, and I feel like they know how to. They know how to make a good song, and they know what people really want, and it was just fun, and it was quite unapologetic as well, because it was like super misogynistic, and it was like I saw a tweet where someone said,
"That's what makes it so funny." I think.
Yeah, that's what makes it so funny. It's just so ridiculous.
You're like, oh, they said that shit. They can't be pissed. It's like, you know what? Fuck them. That's how they feel about it, and the beats and everything reflects it. Like the sound, like exactly. Sonically, I think, like I said, I didn't hear every single fucking song, and unfortunately, fortunately, I was with cunts, but I didn't get to sit down and like dissect it and listen to it like I normally would. But like I said, like C said, you put it on, you let it play front to back, and you don't want to skip anything really. Even the little skits and shit at the end of some of those songs are piss funny. Like the cunt talking about, I'm in the fourth cylinder, I'm still got the drive. You're like, that's piss funny.
Yeah,
but like,
I get you.
You can keep it going. Yeah.
I saw.
They had more fun. I saw
a really funny tweet where someone said, "How did Drake release an album with Future, but this album's way more misogynistic than that?" I was like, yeah, it's so true as well, which is so funny.
So overall, 8.5. Yes, go now.
8.5.
I was on Queen Street in Toronto the other day, mate, and there's a fucking ad on the side of a tram, streetcar for the North American listeners, and it's basically like, I think it's like it's a clothing thing. I'm trying to find it in my phone right now, but yeah. Oh, here it is. Fuck, good timing, cunt. So it says "boss" on it. It says "be your own boss," and guess who's modeling on this hoe? It's your boy, Dem.
Nave Vadius.
Love him.
You know what I'm saying? He's out here. So and then next there's like, it just says "boss." It says,
what's it advertising? Hugo Boss.
Be your own boss. Honestly, it might be, because it's pretty swaggy. It looks like
the same font.
And there's an actress on the other car, but there's on the street car, but there's a tree blocking her whole fucking face, and I don't know who it is. It might be, oh fuck. Anyway, some beautiful queen. I can't figure out who it is. It might be Angela Bassett or some shit. I don't know. But anyway, someone swaggy in clothes.
Okay.
and Future was on the tram, and I was like,
I
damn,
love it.
loves
You like
Future.
you like the goat.
Yeah, I can't believe I didn't send it to you. I think because I was at doing shit, so I just forgot. So I'm the cunt, and here we are.
So Dan must say, I guess it's fuck me, right? Huh? It's fuck me.
I guess it's fuck me. I guess it's fuck me, right?
That should be the episode name.
That is the greatest line ever. Like, it's just so fucking.
Yeah, that's the
crazy.
episode name. Yeah, just do some asterisks.
I did want to. I'll do that. I was gonna call it R.I.P. Takeoff because every episode we've talked about that. I always put that, but I think I guess it's fuck me is gonna work better with the clip, which is fucking hilarious.
Plus, we should thank Future for being an inspiration, because without him, this type of music wouldn't have been released.
Okay, would you say that Drake and Future walked so Drake and 21 could run?
Ooh.
I agree. No, I'd go as far to say Future walked so Drake and 21 could run.
Ooh.
I'm sorry, let's put that Kendrick Lamar album in the trash. I don't give a fuck.
Wow.
I do not care.
Kendrick,
let's just put that in the trash.
It's gone.
We're only listening to Future, and we're only listening to Drake's album, which is 21 this year.
That's it.
That's what we have on repeat.
Nothing else.
I'm sorry.
It's done.
Nothing else.
It's done.
It's done.
Clear the calendar. No more entries.
No more. Give a shit. Relentless Deluxe. Dash that.
Like that easy.
No, let's include that. Let's include that.
Okay.
I'm happy with that. Just 3 albums for the year.
That's it. As soon as my screen's about to come back on in a second.
Hopefully. It's nice to have a break from your face, though.
I'm not gonna lie. I can totally feel it. I don't know why it's taking so long. The other day, it was being quick as much.
Being,
shit. I ruined it, dude. I'm gonna put you boys back and just move me.
I'll just get nude and run around.
Hey.
But y'all can hear me still, right?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
I'll give it a second, see if it works. If it doesn't, I'll just unplug it and switch back. Oh, hang on, what the fuck is this? Canon 6D? That should work. Shit, son. Shit. Oh, there we go. You bunch of C words.
Beautiful.
Oh,
what the fuck did I do?
Oh,
sorry, boys.
It's just a show. It's the C Feezy show.
It's just me.
It's the Cee and Notion dog show.
There we go. All right. I would give Drake's. I'd probably give the album 7.75 because halfway between 7.5 and 8. Yeah, it's not completely the type of shit I would always sort of like completely opt to listen to, but I'm, like I said, very happy for having it on and around. It's fun. It's playful. There was some stupid bars. There was some clever bars. The rollout was dope. I always just listening to Drake. I always enjoy listening to Drake rap. I think it's just fun. He's dope. A lot of people don't give him the credit. Me and Nosh been into him as a rapper since 2008. So I fuck with it, and I think this was definitely better than the last couple of joints. So happy to have rapping Drake back in the building, which is lit.
Fucking nice.
The last couple of things to chat before we wrap it up. The Eminem got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Nosh?
Yes. I also want to give it a 7 out of 10. Just want.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't ask you because I wasn't sure if you were ready to rate it yet.
Bag.
I just didn't think you were ready to rate it.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. No, because
of
what I heard.
I guess it's fuck him, right?
Just fuck off. No,
I guess it's a fuck you. Is it fuck you, Nosh? I guess it's fuck you, right?
I guess so, right? True.
Well done, Dan. That was great. That was good.
And that's the clip.
Thank you.
And that's the clip.
I'm glad to be back.
Yeah,
guys.
no, it's all good, eh?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I guess it's fuck everyone.
Fuck.
Okay, so we did it. No, she's giving it a 7, but I want to come back next week after you've heard it at home by yourself, and then let us know what you think out of 10 after that.
And if you don't listen to it, I'm gonna be in Toronto.
You're gonna punch me in the dick hole if I don't listen to it?
Physically, he'll be there, or he'll make you listen to it. He'll be like, "Okay, Notion, sit down."
Okay, that'll be fun. I'd like to have a family listening experience.
There we go.
And then we get like some slutty burgers afterwards.
Mate, get that dog up here.
Because I am a fat cunt. I am striving to be
fattest cunt
a
going.
heavy eater.
I like it. Fat cunt, Nosh, they call you. All right, let's wrap these things up because we're at the end. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. What happened, Nosh?
Dr. Dre inducted Eminem into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So well deserved. How do you feel about that?
feel great. I think there should be.
I
Shouldn't
Guys
there
are right, the
be?
old
yeah,
Marshall, didn't he?
So one of you guys
sure.
said in the beginning before we went on that you said there should be. Why isn't there? And why isn't the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Why isn't there in like a music
Music.
Hall of Fame? Which
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree with. I think that's what it should be. They should change the name of it or something because there's a lot of
They
rappers.
definitely need to look at that because, like, you know, there's a lot of rappers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but like, yeah, that's what they've always called it because that's just kind of the only music that was around that was kind of
Popping.
Hall of Fame-ish enough. I don't know. That's weird how they made that category. It's like it's kind of lopsided when you think about it.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
yeah,
Very
they've
cool. I heard he
they got
shouted
the
out a
old.
lot of people.
Oh, good. Yeah, I haven't seen any footage on it. I just read the article.
Okay. No, sounds obviously well deserved. I don't think anyone could argue that.
Not
and
really.
If he's shouting out,
No.
Eminem's always been the most respectful dude to his the people who came before him. So I like that a lot.
Of course.
Yeah.
Like his OGs and the people who inspired him and stuff. I think that's important. That's why I fuck with Migos because they were very respectful about the people who came before them, and like, or at least Quavo and Takeoff. You can't speak for Offset here and him there, but anyway.
That's just good manners.
I think
it's
it
like
is.
they were very humble. Yeah.
That's all you can be, man. You can be cocky, but also just understand that you aren't the first one, and if people helped you or inspired
Yeah, gotta
you,
give
then
respect and where respect is due.
Yep.
Don't be a dickhead.
And
Like it is.
Yeah, the fuck
Pretty
I'm
solid
saying.
rules right there.
I love it. So that is that. Nosh Beats update. Notion Beats. You've been on your beat grizzly.
Yeah. Since I've had this fucking hole in my neck side, just being out of hospital and getting back into my regular sleep pattern and stuff, I'm getting up at a nice time where I feel fresh. Been making stacks of beats again. I've been uploading new ones to notionbeats.com. So yeah, basically I'm going to keep doing that every week, uploading as many as I finish. Some I'm starting from scratch. Others I'm finding that I'm like, oh, I half finished that, 3/4 finished that. Let me just fucking put some sprinkles on it and wrap it up. So I've been like, just going through the bangers. So that's the main update with the beats. I've just been posting a little more on my Instagram and my Facebook at Notion Baby. But
And
otherwise, I'm
notionbeats.com.
looking at and notionbeats.com. Check her out. I'm actually doing a promo for November. If any artist that wants either mixing or beat, it's buy one get one free just for November if they're a new client. So that's going to save you a whole bunch of dollars. So that's the promo I've been fucking around, throwing it on. What are they called? The notes on Instagram.
Yep. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah. And definitely put it in stories and put it on your feed.
Stories. Yeah, I got to do a bit more than that. Got a couple snags, but yeah, just trying to ting. But yeah, making more beats, and I'm trying to just get back to my regular numbers. I used to make like, I don't know, 30 to 50 beats a month, and I want to get back to something like that.
Nice. I'm excited because it's going to be good timing for our project. So you'll probably get a whole new batch of inspiration from what you're making, and maybe you can be like, "Oh
yeah,
shit,
I've already got a couple that I've made ready for us. I think you've heard one of them anyway. Tagged you in it, but yeah, we've got a bunch going on. I've also been sent a bunch of beats from Eggwad, which is my producer homie that we did Notion Island Volume 1 a couple years back there. So yeah, he's been sending me some new shit. He's really got the hang of the machine and the Native Instruments drum machine, and he's just honestly sending me fire. So I'm gonna write some like abstract shit, and we'll fucking
do a
have
volume
something
2?
else coming on. Yeah, do a volume 2. It's always been in the cards. I just needed
Nice.
a different soundscape, and he moved and life and all the things happened. So yeah, he's been sending me shit lately. So yeah, it's been I have a lot of things to do. I've been inspired again with a clean slate. So I'm just back in the beats, making shit for us, getting some new Notion Island shit. So yeah, it'll be dope, man. I'm looking forward to all the next, winter season. I'll be inside more. I won't be riding my bike in the fucking mountains. So I'll just be writing raps and making boots.
That's great, man. I'd love to hear that. That's exciting.
Nice.
Yeah,
The only thing I would like to ask for is when you guys release a song together, either together, or if Notion produces a song for himself or you, can it be on a drill instrumental, please?
I was going to bring that up, Dan. I'm glad you mentioned it. So Notion, one of the episodes before you, yes, short answer, yes. One of the episodes before you came back, we did a thing where we were playing some of the beats that we had in the original pile. We listened to them live. It was a bit of an awkward thing because of the way we got the sound, kind of what we were talking about before. I had to like unplug my headphones, play the beat so that this microphone heard it and picked it up, so it would be on that. Otherwise, Nosh would have had to insert the beats in all the places. It would have taken him forever. And went through our thoughts on them all. And so we're doing a collab album. We're kind of like making it a bit more public, discussing it, you know, playing the stuff, not trying to be all secretive and then just drop it later. It's a different approach for us. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I am kind of inspired by the Drake and 21 thing in the fun approach to it, which I'm definitely interested in that.
The fun approach needs to definitely be. It needs to be fun first. Then, like, honestly, with rap nowadays, everything's if it's not serious, fun, it's too serious and it's too boring. That's why I don't think Kendrick's album has longevity, because yes, technically it is incredible, like the shit he's saying and what
Morale and the Steppers joint.
Yeah, it's technically on paper it's incredible, but it's so boring. I do not care about what he's saying. Whereas Future, he could say a line like, "I fucked her in her ass, made her pee-pee," and I'd rather listen to that than all his wise words, because it's boring. Like, I'm sorry.
That's crazy, bro.
But you know what? That's, whilst maybe to us who listen to more serious stuff, that sounds insane. It's actually not insane at all. And it's basically the world we live in is fucked and very serious and scary and confusing and crazy. So one way, you know, music is an escape. So if you're going to listen to some fun stuff, you want to laugh, you want to enjoy it. So I think that because we haven't started it yet, like we haven't even really locked down 100%, these are the beats we're going to work on, having that fun ethos now, particularly after this conversation, I'm definitely pretty convinced. I think that could be a great direction to go on. What
we need to make some more fun shit. We're so passionate about our journey and our drive and our love for music and shit. I think we just get too intense with it and can't get scared off because we're so in love with what we do.
Yeah, that's the music we listen to, is more serious stuff. So if we try and make this project, approach it in the way Drake and 21 did, where this is our collaboration. We've done a million serious songs. Let's switch it up. Let's be fun. Let's be funny. Let's do a fun rollout. Let's do some dumb shit. And then coming back to Dan's point,
like a good angle.
I think it's a great fucking angle because we're working this out live. I also enjoy this. This is different. We're talking about it live, and it's cool to have Dan have your perspective on stuff, because I always big you up to people, and I always tell people that your energy and your different perspective is on everything from high season to BOS to this to the music shit. It's great to have that. Stop it. So it's
flip it now.
Such a homo. So Nosh posted a drill beat that he sent out to somebody, and I'm pretty sure I know who it was. It didn't take that beat. Heady one, of course. Smokewell, shouts to Smokewell. I'll talk about something with him in a second.
Oh my god, the comments were the best.
Right, so he was like, "Yo, C should rap, you and C should rap over this drill beat." So I just did like a stupid little bar, and I did it in the drill flow and make it something about stabbing people. So what I have
to record it.
Right, so what I was thinking, Nosh, we could use that beat, and I would be comfortable doing a drill flow, being ridiculous, because I think it's easy to be ridiculous in the drill flow because of the way that the rhyme patterns are. Like I enjoyed. Right. I haven't written a rhyme probably all year, if I'm going to be honest. This is the least I've written in a long time. So I'm very excited to get back to the winter and to get into our project, because now I have all the space. I got this beautiful basement with the carpet, so my acoustics that you tested sound good. I got all this shit ready to go. The studio's just behind me here. So I'm fucking ready, cunt. So I'm down to do a drill song, but we make it fun. Like I feel like it'd be a good addition.
It needs to be a fun first approach. I think. Like, I also think we should do a rollout. We should do a rollout because it would be so funny.
Let's make it ridiculous.
Like, if it's ridiculous. And another thing we discussed.
Let's lean into our Aussie dumb shit.
I'm down.
Yeah, I agree. And one thing we discussed a few years ago was having me, you, Brad, or Tiff speak on the album.
Notion.
Because our different acts. Sorry.
Put Govey in it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to really kill government there.
Hands on blast in it, like
I know. You got the feds are watching. Sorry.
Right.
I think especially with the contrast of our accents, I think it would be hilarious.
You know what? We need to do that, whether it's in the middle of the song, whether it's
Hands on the hook.
ad-libs, whether it's a hook,
Yeah.
whether it's a an interlude. I think we should definitely do that, and I'd love to have.
Let's make a song called "In It." We have to make a song called "In It" and dance on
go.
the hook.
That could be the drill song.
That could be it.
Fuck.
I'm down.
I'll give you 10 drill beats. Let's fucking pick one. Let's go, cunt.
Let's do it. I feel like it'd be cool to have
Yeah,
the whole team involved in this whole shit, because this is just us. Like, we're not involving, like, you know, Relentless was the homie Maya, so it was kind of me and him doing the shit, and then everyone kind of more contributed down the track on recording time. But maybe since the beginning, it'd be cool to have Dan, you, and Tiff to really get involved in this from the beginning and sort of guide the songs, because I don't know. I think it'd just be let's make it a squad thing. Let's make it as cool and fun. And if we go, okay, this is the aim. We're putting out. The reason we're doing a collab album, by the way, is every time we do songs together, like we released Kill 'Em and Found You in the summer of 2019, those songs did really well and people really supported them, and they, like the radio did and the DJs and all this stuff. And people always say, yo, fuck, you guys should do more stuff together. And we're like, everyone really enjoys when we do songs together. So we're like, let's just do a collab album finally. Every project we do, there's always 1, 2, 3 songs or whatever. But I don't know. I think it's time that we settle down and do
done
this.
It from the start, eh?
We probably should have just made a group or some shit, but then let's do this first album, then
Let's
we'll see what.
Do it now, mate.
And we could just keep going with it. So I'm stoked for it, and it'd be cool if we had all of us involved. Love it. That's been great. 2 quick updates on two updates on my side. One, I didn't even say this the last episode, but all October I released a new single every week from the Relentless Deluxe album. We dropped Cross the Line with Andrew Cameron. We dropped Entropy, and we dropped Rome with My Clarity. So the first 3 weeks. The last week was supposed to be the album. The distributor fucked me. I actually went into big detail. I did a podcast with Dubious in Edmonton, I believe he's at. I explained it all. I can link to that below. But basically, the distributors are driving me crazy, and I don't know what to do to get it out. Like, I'm completely stuck at this point. Like, I don't know how to get it through their thing, because they won't respond to my help thing. The guy I had who was talking to me is on vacay for another, 2 weeks or something now, just disappeared. I just don't know what to do to get my shit done. So it'll be out hopefully soon. So it's ready. Obviously, we had it ready a year ago. Josh was his whole life, who's our designer, he got his whole life turned upside down type of shit when he moved to the other side of the country. So he wasn't able to do the covers. So anyway, it's been a whole fucking ordeal. So hopefully it'll be out soon. But Smokewell and I have Buy Toxic City Volume 2. Nosh finished this summer, finished mixing. We've been going back and forth with revisions for the cover art with the artist now. It's looking pretty dope. So we'll release it. I want to release it before the end of the year. But I feel like if it doesn't get out by mid-December, it'll probably have to wait till January, just because Christmas always fucks everything up and everyone's mad distracted. So we'll see what we can do. It just depends on how quick we can go. I don't know if you want to review the Masters one last time, but I'm pretty sure we're good to go. So we have that.
Good,
so bunch of music coming. We went a little over this episode, but that was it. That's it, guys.
That's fine.
This was good.
Oh, one side note, sorry.
Yes.
I also think it's hilarious when rappers diss companies.
Okay.
Like how Kanye made the song Facts and it was a complete diss track to Nike. And how Drake did that line about Adidas. I think that is the most funny shit, and I think you should do that.
So we should diss some companies. See, we should start taking notes. We should have a joint note with a bunch of thoughts and for marketing stuff and concepts for this project. I'll start that as soon as we finish, and I'll text it to all 4 of us so we can do that from there. But this is cool. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited.
Yes, sir.
We're ready to ramp up. So, great pod back, boys. Let's do the old thummy before we forget, and then we'll wrap that hoe on up. By the way, today I had a Little Victory seltzer with raspberry, and it was fantastic. A nice 2.5 THC 1-to-1 CBD. Very good.
Bloody ripper, mate.
Dogs up, yeah. Boom. Daniel, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me at Dan Johnson on Instagram, Twitter, or follow me. Be a part of my 1,400 followers on HDFGXMING. I'm fucking famous now.
Everyone knows.
What about you, Notion?
Mate, man's like me and Mal here. At Notion Baby on Instagram, Twitter. and Facebook, at Notion MTB for all your sick ass fucking cunts in the forest doing gnarly shit. At Ill Note Studios for Instagram and Facebook, studios.com, notionbeats.com, monthly promo, fucking for November. Give me a fucking shout, cunts. Say Feezy?
That's good. I'll try and do the Drake ad-libs, the 21. You know what I'm saying? So, like,
I enjoyed it.
That needs to happen.
We have to do something like that. By the time we do
shit.
this and drop it, I think people forget that they did it, so there won't be so much of a cop. We'll do it
Get
different.
drunk and do the whole project
Basically.
in one night.
That'd be pretty fun. We could. Maybe not a whole night.
Scared.
I think it'd take a bit longer than that. But I like
we
it.
can do that in one night.
Okay, I like it. I like your idea. 24 hours. We don't sleep until it's done. Get me at CWEFO on Instagram and Twitter, and soon to be, I guess, Elon's going to take our verification away and charge everyone $8 so any cunt can have it. Fucking Elon. What a cockhead. CWTMF on TikTok and Facebook. Guys, thank you for watching and listening. If you fucking enjoyed the episode, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe bell, hit the notification bell.
Ding!
So you know when the new drop. Follow us everywhere at The Movement Fam. And we drop every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Now it's daylight savings. It's dark at fucking 1 p.m. probably. So fucking goodbye, sun, for 6 months. Right?
Catch cunt.
And we'll
suck
see
on
you.
them vitamin D's, mate.
Suck on them, and we'll see you cunts next episode, mate. Get a dog up here.
Wolf.
Shasta Barrington. Woof, woof. Oh, wolf. Wolf, cunt.
Dogs go wolf.
Wolf, cunt. Dogs go wolf. Dogs go wolf. Dogs go wolf.
Mate.
Dogs go wolf. We should get Barrington on the interlude too. Dogs go wolf. Dogs go wolf.
Sound effect.
Yeah.
Catch your cunts.
Catch your cunts. Catch your cunts.
Tuck it easy.